Hi everyone, it's Rax and welcome to the Crusader set dungeon guide. We're going to go over all four of them, and compared to the other classes, Crusaders don't have it too bad. And in a lot of cases, you can reuse a lot of the items and a lot of the skills over and over and over to get them all down quickly. Let's get started. Alright, let's look at the Seeker of the Light set dungeon, which is of course the Blessed Hammer build. And our objectives for this one are going to be to use Falling Sword 3 times within 15 seconds, and we have to do that 3 times during the rift. And we cannot get hit by a single mortar, so we're going to have to be Neo from the Matrix and just dodge everything. We will of course take the full Seeker of the Light set. We'll use 5 pieces: the helm, shoulders, gloves, chest, and pants. With Ring of Royal Grandeur in the cube, we'll complete our set. The 2-piece, every use of Blessed Hammer that's going to hit an enemy is going to reduce Falling Sword by 1 second, so we can keep casting it. We take 50% less damage when we use Falling Sword from the 4-piece, and increase the damage of Blessed Hammer by 15,000% for the 6-piece. What else are we going to take with this? We're going to take items for Blessed Hammer. Guard of Johanna, Blessed Hammer is going to deal 250% increased damage to the first 3 enemies it hits. And Gabriel's Vam Braces, the bracers, when Blessed Hammer hits 3 or fewer enemies, 100% of the wrath cost is refunded. From there, we're just going to take everything for cooldown and attack speed and resource cost like we always do. So Ingeom is going to reduce all of our cooldowns when we kill an elite. Captain Crimson's is an incredible set for cooldown and resource cost reduction. We'll wear the boots and the belt. With the Ring of Royal Grandeur in the cube, it's going to give us our full set bonus. Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac is going to reset our cooldowns. It's going to reset our Falling Sword so we can keep casting it. We'll take a Molten Wildebeest Gizzard there to give us some survivability. Stone of Jordan is a nice to have, but you don't need this. You can use whatever ring you want. Stone of Jordan is nice because it has Holy Elemental damage and Elite damage. And we will take Bane of the Trapped to deal increased damage. Flavor of Time has 4 skills as a main stat with cooldown. That's why it's very good to have, but you can use whatever amulet you want. You could also use an S of Johann, for example, to help pull the enemies in. And we take a Gogok of Swiftness for the increased attack speed and cooldown. For the skills, Akarat's Champion is going to give us more damage and wrath regeneration. Embodiment of Power is going to give us even further wrath regeneration to cast our skills. Ironskin Flash is going to give us reduced damage, and it's going to give us increased movement speed when we get hit. Pony with Endurance is going to let us pony around. Endurance makes the pony last longer. Laws of Hope Wings of Angels is going to let us move faster when we activate the law. Blessed Hammer does all of our damage. And Falling Sword is what we need to complete our objective. It's also our survivability. It's also a nice movement skill. Rapid Descent, when we land on enemies, it's going to reduce the cooldown by 1 second each time, so try to Falling Sword on different enemies. Finery gives us more strength, which is more damage and more survivability. Fervor, when we have a one-handed weapon, we get attack speed and cooldown. Long Arm of the Law is going to increase our Laws of Hope Wings of Angels so we can move faster for longer. And Lord Commander is going to reduce the cooldown of our pony. Cam's Rebuttal is needed. Falling Sword can be used again within 4 seconds after the cooldown, before the cooldown is triggered. This is going to let us keep casting Falling Sword over and over and over to get that objective down. Take Leoric's Crown for more cooldown, and of course Ring of Royal Grandeur to complete our full set. Let me take you into the clear and show you how to get this down. To reach the Seeker of the Light set dungeon, take the Ancient Waterway waypoint. Go down the middle entrance, the waterlogged passage, and all the way down on the right you will find it. So the name of the game here is we need to not get hit by any mortars, and we need to cast Falling Sword 3 times in 15 seconds, 3 different times, and kill all of the enemies. No problem. So we just move around, and we need to kill everything. When the time is right, we are going to Falling Sword over and over and over 3 different times, and then we're going to be good. There's 1. There's 2. Then we use our Blessed Hammers to reset it, and there is a 3rd time. 2 more of those, and we'll be good as long as we don't get hit by any mortars. So I need to go to the left side here before I go down that long passageway. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. You can see with all the cooldown that we've stacked, once you've got that much, it's quite easy. One tactic that I like to use to make sure that I kill all the enemies without getting hit by mortar is I like to run toward the elite, right? Because it throws the mortars very far away, and if I run toward them, it seems to be an easy way to dodge it. You can also use your falling sword as a way to dodge the mortars if you're about to get hit by one. So I've already done the hard part of casting falling sword enough times. So from here, it's quite easy. We just run around. We just need to kill everything and not get hit by a mortar. So we got to be very careful for where these pesky elites are, and they seem to spawn in different locations. So yours might be in slightly different spots than mine are. Just taking my time, and when I see an elite, I'm going to run toward it to hopefully not get hit by the mortars. There's 2 more of them down. Nothing up there. And then we're going to head down to kill the last 15 monsters and hopefully not get hit by any mortars. Whoa, you little rascal. Tried to make me lose, but that's it. No problem. Let's look at the Invoker set dungeon for the Crusader, which is the Thorn set. Enemies are going to hit us. There's going to be thorns on us. The enemies are going to say ow, and then they're going to die. The objectives for this set are quite simple. There are spear throwers in the dungeon. We need to get hit by 75 of those spears, reflect them back at them, and kill them. It will be very easy. We literally just stand there. And then for every elite, we need to stand in consecration and then activate our iron skin and then kill them. Won't be a problem. 2-piece set. The Thorns damage now hits all enemies in a 15-yard radius around us, and every time we hit an enemy with Punish or Slash or Block and Attack, our Thorns is increased. That's fine. The 4-piece set, we take 50% less damage after we damage an enemy with Bombardment. This doesn't matter to us. We don't need it. We'll be fine. And the 6-piece, the attack speed of Punish and Slash are increased by 100%, and we deal an astounding 67,000% Thorns damage. Okay, that'll help us clear up the rip after we're done. So of course, we're using the full Invoker set, helmet, shoulders, gloves, bracers, and pants, with Ring of Royal Grandeur in the cube to complete our set. The first thing to understand about Thorns is it cannot crit, so we don't want any crit hit chance or any crit hit damage. It's completely wasted. Another thing about Thorns is a physical attack. So we're going to take physical rolls on our amulet and on our bracers if we can get them. The last thing is that Thorns damage is a secondary on items. And I believe it can roll on every single item except weapon. Thorns, 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 thorns. You get the idea? There's thorns everywhere. Okay? So we're going for thorns. We're going for physical damage. We don't need any crit hit chance or any crit hit damage. And like with every single set dungeon in the world, we're going to stack cooldown everywhere. On weapon, shield, ring, gloves, shoulders, diamond in the helmet for more cooldown, and of course on the Flavor of Time, it will automatically come. And then we're going to take Captain Crimson's set. It's going to give us more cooldown and resource cost reduction, and all the resource cost reduction is going to help us stay alive. We're going to pick up Hack. 100% of our Thorns damage is applied on every attack. And we're also going to get the Thorns damage gem instead of the crit hit damage gem, because again, Thorns cannot crit. Akarat's Awakening. Every block is going to give us a chance to reduce our cooldowns by 1 second. Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac for more cooldown. Molten Wildebeest Gizzard for the shield, which is going to keep us alive. Stone of Jordan is nice, but you can really use whatever you want. It's nice because it's going to give us the physical elemental damage, and you can take the cooldown roll here as well. But if you can't find a Stone of Jordan, really any ring will work. It doesn't matter. Heart of Iron, we're going to gain 300% of our vitality as Thorns. So vitality will help us stay alive, and it will give us some damage. Flavor of Time is nice because it has 4 stats, and it comes with cooldown, but you don't have to have a Flavor of Time. Any amulet at all with cooldown and with Thorns is plenty good enough. We'll take the Gogok for more cooldown. And of course, we need Boyarsky's Chip. It's going to give us more thorns damage in our ring. And for skills, Akkhan's Champion is going to help us stay alive. It's going to give us additional armor, and it's going to give us a cheat death. We must have Iron Skin to complete our objectives, so it's going to increase our thorns damage by 300% with the Reflective Skin rune. Steed Charge, Pony, is going to let us move around easy. Endurance is going to increase the duration. Consecration, we need to stand in this to complete our objective. I took the Bathe in the Light rune, that way we can stay alive, but there's also a Thorns rune if you'd like to get some additional damage, but it shouldn't be needed. This set dungeon is so easy. Punish Celerity is what we will use to kill monsters. After we've completed our objectives, we'll just run around and hit them with that ridiculous 67,000% multiplier and clean it up very easily. And Laws of Hope, Wings of Angels will help us move faster. Binary is going to give us extra strength, which is a multiplier for thorns, which is going to give us more damage. Fervor is going to give us attack speed and cooldown. Long Arm of the Law is going to increase the effect of our law. And the Lord Commander is going to reduce the cooldown of our Steed Charge. If you'd like to deal some additional damage, there is the Iron Maiden passive, which you can pick up, which increases your thorns by 50%. I found I absolutely did not need this, but if you need it, there's some extra damage right there. Ingeom for more cooldown, Leorix for more cooldown, and Ring of Royal Grandeur completes our set. Let's jump into the actual set dungeon clear now, and I'll show you how to get it down. The Invoker set dungeon is at the very beginning of the game, so you'll be able to find it very easily. And let's get this started. We got to get hit by 75 spears, kill every single monster, and use Consecration and Iron Skin on every elite. So what I'm looking for here is a room with a bunch of spear guys. So I can just have them throw spears at me and get that first part of that achievement done. So I don't see too many spear guys here, but whenever you need to, you can always just pause and let them throw them at you. So again, just looking for spear guys, and I'm punishing to kill everything quite easily. We stand still here, and you can see on the right side that get hit by 75 spear objective is just flying up. I already have 31 of them. Here we go. This is what I'm looking for. If you notice, my thorns damage is right at the point where each monster can hit me with multiple spears. If you're having trouble getting the 75 achievement down, or the objective, then you can just lower your thorns. Take out the thorns gem in your weapon, or potentially take off Boyarski's so they can just throw spears at you all day long. Well, that was quite easy. Got it done literally by like the third room. So I'm just going to run around and punish everything and look for the elites. When the elites are there, I'm going to drop a Consecration. I'm going to use Iron Skin, and then I'm just going to whack them. Consecration, Iron Skin, whack. Easy. And we've got to do that 5 times. And that's literally it. Run around, clean up the trash with Punish. See an elite, here we go. We got to Consecrate and Iron Skin. Whack them, and they're dead. This has got to be one of the easiest set dungeons, not only for the Crusader, but in the entire game. Now it's just a function of cleaning it all up. Consecration, Iron Skin, whack. No problem at all. There's only 33 monsters left. Just got to find where they are. Got the big loop-de-loop here, so let's check in the bottom here. Would have been a lot more efficient if I had potentially come here first. Okay, that's a dead end. Now we just got to make our way up top, and that should be the end of this one. Not too bad at all. So if you're playing Crusader any season, I would really recommend Invoker. Just get a couple Thorns rolls, get hit by some spears. And the rest of it is just going to be a walk in the park. Still 2 more elites. Here we go. Consecrate, Iron Skin, whack. 6 monsters left and 1 more elite. Not too bad at all. And we've got 2 minutes to spare. Consecrate, Iron Skin, whack. 3 left, and there we have it. All right, let's look at how to get the Akkhan set dungeon down. So the first objective is we need to condemn 10 enemies at a time. 10 different times within the set dungeon, and we need to kill a bunch of enemies while Akkhan's champion is up. It's not going to be a problem. Our Akkhan's champion will always be up. The trouble with this, or the slight difficulty with this set dungeon, is it's hard to find 10 packs of 10 enemies throughout the set dungeon. So you got to be a little bit careful in how you pick and choose your battles. You have to be a little bit patient, and you have to know when to kill the stragglers and when to just go in and make a big group of enemies. So to do this set dungeon, we will of course need the full Akkhan set. Luckily, this set has an amulet, so we'll take the amulet, chest, shoulders, gloves, and pants. With Ring of Royal Grandeur, we'll complete our set. The 2-piece is going to reduce the cost of our abilities by 50% while Akkhan's champion is active. The 4-piece reduces the cooldown of Akkhan's by 50%. And the 6-piece is while Akkhan's is active, you deal 2,000% increased damage and take 50% less damage. So the thing about the itemization here is all we really need is cooldown. We can have cooldown to keep our abilities up. Condemn isn't going to have a cooldown, as you're going to see in a second. But you really don't need attack speed or resource cost at all. That shouldn't be a problem. So it's not a heavy gear check at all. Just get a good amount of cooldown and get, as many of these items as you can, and then you're ready to go. Blade of the Prophecy, 2 condemned enemies also trigger Condemn's explosion, and the damage of Condemn is increased by 800%. Freighter's Wrath, Condemn has no cooldown, and its damage is increased by 800%, but now it costs 40 Wrath. We're not going to condemn all the time, so the cost is not going to make a big difference. And yeah, and then from there we'll take Captain Crimson's because it's going to give us a lot of cooldown, and we'll complete our set with the Ring of Royal Grandeur. Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac is going to let us reset our cooldowns further. We take Molten Willed Beast just for a little bit of survivability. Stone of Jordan is a nice to have, but you don't need it. The Holy Damage and the increased Elite Damage will help you get everything down, but you can take any ring if you don't have a Stone of Jordan. And same thing with the Strong Arm Bracers. You can take any old bracers that you want that have good stats. It's not important. And then Gogok in the Amulet is going to give us more cooldown. It's going to help us a little bit. Akkhan's Champion, Prophet, we need this for the set, and we need this to get the objective down. Just make sure that you have this up all the time. It's going to make you deal more damage, have more wrath, and give you more defense. Laws of Hope, Wings of Angels, is going to help you move around to get it down faster. Pony Endurance is going to let you move around the map very easy. Provoke Hit Me is going to give you 5 wrath, not a big deal. And Hit Me is going to increase your block chance, going to help you stay alive. Iron Skin Flash, excuse me. Iron Skin is going to absorb 50% of your damage, and if you take damage, you're going to move faster to get around more easily. Condemn is going to deal all of our damage. I like Unleashed because otherwise it takes some time to build up and then it unleashes. I don't want that to happen. When I got 10 enemies around, I want to use Condemn and kill them instantly. Finery for more strength, for more damage and survivability. Heavenly Strength, while we have a 2-handed weapon, we can also have a shield, and our damage is reduced by 20%. Long Arm is going to increase the active of our Laws of Hope so we can move faster. And Lord Commander is going to help us keep our pony up. Ingeom for more cooldown. Illusory to move through enemies because we have Leorc's Crown on our helmet, which is going to give us more cooldown. And Ring of Royal Grandeur completes the sets. Let's jump into the clear and see how to get this down. To find this set dungeon, just go to the top right corner of Act 3 in the Armory, and you'll find it in the bottom left corner of that zone. So this one is all about picking and choosing your battles carefully. You need to get 10 sets of 10 enemies. So it's all about decision making. So there does seem to be enough for 10 there, but my Condemn was already going off. I'm just looking around to see where can I actually get 10 enemies. There's 10 definitely here. Run into the middle with your illusory boots and we have it. Now we have a bunch of stragglers, so you just need to clean those up until you find your next pack of 10. If you find yourself consistently failing this one, then you could kite the enemies across the bridge and do a little bit more work there. But that is really the only challenge here. The rest of it, as far as keeping everything up, is quite easy. You see how I went back on that bridge to get the couple stragglers. You don't want to be left with a couple at the end because you do have to kill every enemy for the mastery. So I get another 10 right there. I clean it up and just looking for 5 more packs. This looks pretty good. Another thing that you want to try to do is don't kill like 30 enemies with one. Do you see how I turned that pack into 2? I didn't let them all run up to me instantly. That was the main challenge in this one. Although, as long as you're keeping your Akkhan champion up all the time, when you're attacking, you're going to complete the other objective easily. So we have the second objective complete, but we still need 10 of 10. We have 9 left with 65 monsters, and I don't think we've really missed any opportunities so far. So you can mess up a couple of times in the run, but if you ruin too many packs there, you're not going to get it. But there we go. We finally got it. There's only 28 monsters left. So we're just going to surgically finish them off. Use our pony to get over to where they are. Don't have to get 10 anymore, so from here it's just clean up and it's not too bad from there. The nice thing about this one is it's not really a gear check. Alright everyone, let's look at the Roland set dungeon to see how to get this down. There are 2 objectives that we have to complete. First, we have to hit 12 different enemies with a single sweep attack 7 different times. That's not going to be too bad as long as we're patient. The second one is a little bit trickier. We have to spend 300 wrath in 10 seconds 5 different times. So since we have to spend that much wrath, what we need to do is we need to have a ton of resource cost reduction and a ton of cooldown and a lot of wrath generation. That way in those 10 seconds we can vomit as much wrath as possible. Even after we've killed the monsters, we're still going to continue to spend it. That way we can get that objective down. So of course it's a set dungeon. We'll wear the full Roland set. We'll take 5 pieces of it. The helmet, shoulders, gloves, chest, pants with Ring of Royal Grandeur in the cube. We'll complete our set. What does the set do? We're going to ignore the shield bash stuff. We're not going to use that. We're going to use sweep attack. Sweep attack reduces the cooldown of our laws and defensive skills by 1 second. That's fine. The damage of sweep attack goes up 17,500%. Fine, it's going to help us kill the monsters. And sweep attack that hits an enemy grants 75% increased attack speed and 15% damage reduction for 8 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. More damage, more attack speed, survivability, and cooldown. That all sounds good. So once again, we need as much attack speed, cooldown, and resource cost as we can possibly get everywhere. So Golden Flens. Sweep attack restores 6 wrath for each enemy hit and has its damage increased by 300%. The 6 wrath for each enemy hit is very critical to get this down. Attack speed, cooldown, resource cost everywhere we can. Denial. Each enemy hit by our sweep attack increases the damage of our next sweep attack by 125%, stacking up to 5 times. Just more damage. We'll take Captain Crimson's belt and boots for more cooldown. With Ring of Royal Grandeur in the cube, will complete that set for us. Obsidian Ring of the Zodiac is going to reduce the cooldown of our abilities by 1 second when we use a resource spending attack. And we'll take Molten Wildebeest Gizzard for a shield. Because in the cube, we're going to take Pride's Fall. Our resource costs are reduced by 30% after not taking damage for 5 seconds. So we'll run around, gather the enemies, and when we're ready, we're going to run in. And hopefully we haven't taken any damage, and we're going to have reduced resource costs, and we're going to be able to spam them. Stone of Jordan is just for more damage. You can take whatever you want. And we'll take Bane of the Trapped for increased damage. Flavor of Time, again, you can take whatever you want. Flavor of Time is nice because it rolls 4 primary stats and comes with cooldown automatically. And Gogok of Swiftness is going to give us more cooldown, which is going to let us spam our abilities. And the Strong Arm Bracers, you can really take whatever you want. As long as you get holy damage and crit on there, it should be good. Anything will work fine here. Akkhan's Champion, this is in every Crusader build ever. I take Embodiment of Power because it's going to increase our Wrath regeneration, so we can spend 300 Wrath very quickly and very easily. Iron Skin Flash is going to give us some damage reduction, and it's going to give us some movement speed to move through it very quickly. Remember, we're on a 5-minute time limit. Pony with Endurance is going to let us pony around and move to where we want to be. Provoke Hit Me is going to give us block chance, and it's going to taunt all enemies, and we're going to generate 5 wrath for every enemy taunted. When we generate wrath, we can spend more wrath and get our objective down. Sweep Attack, Gathering Sweep is what we're going to use to kill everything and to complete objective 1. Laws of Valor, Unstoppable Force. The active with Unstoppable Force is empowering the law, also reduces the wrath cost of all skills by 50% for 5 seconds. You get the idea? We're trying to spend a lot of wrath. Finery gives us more strength for more damage. Heavenly Strength lets us wear a 2-handed weapon in our main hand, just like that. Long Arm of the Law gives us longer laws, so we can, of course, spam our wrath easier. And Lord Commander is going to reduce the cooldown of our pony. Go with Ingeom to reset your cooldowns in the cube. I like Pride's Fall for more resource cost. You don't have to use Pride's Fall. You could cube Leoric's Crown for more cooldown, or you could cube Illusory Boots if you keep getting stuck. And finally, Ring of Royal Grandeur is needed to complete the set. Let's jump into the clear, and I'll show you exactly how to get this down. The Roland set dungeon can be found if you take the Alcarnus waypoint in Act 2 and just head to the left corner. So, for this, what we're looking for are giant packs of monsters to hit with Sweep Attack. So I got 12 there, and then I'm just spamming my abilities, and I'm just hoping that we spend 300 Wrath. And there it is, success. 312 Wrath spent, easy. And I'm even using the wrong law. So if you had the right law on, it would be even easier for you. So we move forward, and remember, we also have to kill every single enemy. So if there's a couple little stragglers left over, make sure you kill them. I just walk around, and then I start blasting. And just keep on swinging. And as long as you swing enough in 10 seconds, you spend 312 Wrath in 10 seconds, no problem. And if you got a couple of stragglers right there, just kill them. And we're just going to kind of surgically move around the map and get it all down. Oh, there's a lot of guys in here. So that's easily 13 enemies hit. Here we go. Gather them all up and just start swinging. And the more enemies you hit, the easier it will be to spend the Wrath. And we're already 4 out of 7 for the objective for hitting the enemies with Sweep Attack. And we're 3 out of 5 for spending 300 Wrath. And I'm okay with just cleaning this up here. Wow, there's a lot of monsters here. This is really easy. And I just swing till the cows come home. There it is. We already have the 12 hits 7 times done. We just need one more blast of 300 Wrath. And we will be all done. And having a lot of enemies around will help me do that. So I'm just cleaning up the little packs as we move around. Maybe I can get it done right here. And there it is. And now it's just easy mode. Now you just nice and easy go through the rift and just clean up all the little monsters. You've got to kill them all to master the dungeon. So this one's not really too bad as long as you're patient, building up all the enemies around you and sweep attacking when they're all around, and then just blasting till the cows come home to get the wrath spent. This one's really not too bad. It's really more about the itemization that you have than it being a difficult dungeon. So let's just go around here, sweep attack. It's really easy when there aren't any objectives anymore. The main thing that I'm worried about is leaving a little straggler behind. So you can feel free to take your time. There's no leaderboard or anything for this. As long as you get it clear, it's a clear. And then we'll be on our way to getting the rest of the dungeons mastered so we can get our beautiful wings. 47 monsters left. 28, no problem. Hopefully the last 11 are down here. 4, 3, 2. The dreaded 2 monsters left. 1 monster left. This always seems to happen. So then you just kind of aimlessly run around and put on a sad face and hope you find it. Someone just threw a spear at me. There it is. Boom. No problem.